Are you stagnant? Do you continue to try and learn? Do you tell yourself that you don't want to learn anymore? Do you think your brain is full? Welcome to Be a Better Person. And today I would like to talk about, I don't know where the other people are, but learning is lifelong. And we want to talk about why maybe it's important to learn, or at least why I think it's important to learn. I'm not sure what you think, but that's what I think. But you could comment and then I would know. So welcome to Be a Better Person channel. It's all about how we can be the best us every day, how we can help others. No matter what you are thinking or feeling, you are not alone. That we all have the same fears, we have the same hopes, dreams. Not exactly the same, but we still think in the same way. Again, remember, these are my thoughts, not something that you might believe in, might not be the same as you. My ideas, why I think things are the way they are. But again, doesn't mean that that's going to be what you think. Just think that we can kind of have some discussions and dialogues about different topics. And they all kind of intertwine, like this topic really is coming off the last one that was daily improvements, and this is learning is lifelong. So my belief is that we should always continue to grow and learn and improve. And I think that if we stop trying to learn, if we stop trying to improve, we stagnate, our life gets meaningless, and then we just wait to die. Hopefully that's not the case with other people. Hopefully you continue to have dreams, aspirations, that you want to get better, that you want to learn new things, and that you strive for improvement. So I think that learning is something that we should never, ever, ever, ever stop. So some things that we can learn about is things that we're passionate about. And again, those things may change, but we can learn a lot about ourselves. Always. There's things that I know today that I didn't know yesterday that I find out about myself. There's things that I've quit lying to myself about. And when I catch myself, I call BS and I tell myself, no, that is not true. You are lying. Be honest. And that's helped me, I think, immensely. And I said before that there's some things that I was passionate about 10 years ago that I've tried, and now I'm like, okay, it's nothing I'm going to really get back into being. I used to be a huge college basketball fan. I still like basketball in general, the NBA. I'm sorry if you like it, good for you, but just terrible compared to what it used to be for me, at least. Still like college basketball, but not how I used to be. Like, I used to watch every college basketball game I could. Didn't matter who was playing. Of course, I had more interest in teams that I was interested in than the ones that I wasn't, but I still like to watch, just to watch the game, matchups. And one of the funnest things that I did used to get in the March Madness in the tournament, the pick and pools, and was very successful because of watching all those games and understanding matchups. But now I guess there's just other things that I'd rather do with my time than watch 20 basketball games a week, spend 60 hours viewing basketball. Hobbies, finding out different things that I really like and enjoy. My daughter is very interested in foraging. I don't know much about it, but I am trying to be a little more in it with her, hoping that this year we can do a lot more. She's always learning. I'm not learning as much. I let her do the learning, and then I'm going to try and learn from her. But those are some things because that way it's another way I can bond with her. Jobs, when you have a job that you just say it's good, like I find it very funny, and I'm going to use this example. And so I started a position, EVS, at a hospital. I probably used this several times before, but I knew nothing about EVS. They actually just reached out to me because I had management experience, and I had to go through a lengthy process, and I got hired. And so I find out when I first started there that the person, my predecessor, pretty much just fell asleep in their office. They never really tried to make things better or improve things or whatever. And it's just not how I'm wired. So from the very beginning, I learned as much as I could about housekeeping and janitorial in hospitals. I went to some other hospitals and got some input from them. I read, articles I read, standard operating procedures for everything that had to do with cleaning, from both the hospital previously and I was a contracted company, all of their standard operating procedures. And all I want to do is continue to improve things. I could have sat around and done absolutely nothing, and who knows if they didn't fire the guy for however long who did nothing and slept at his desk, who knows how long I would have lasted, but I didn't care about that. And I'm not going to go through, but there was probably 20 things that I completely improved. I met budget, was under budget every year that I was there. I found new suppliers that saved about $30,000 a year, got us to clean all the outbuildings that we didn't do. We mainly just did the main hospital and a little bit of the MOB, but I got all the buildings underneath it. 24-hour service, which they had never had. ATP cleaning of discharge rooms, new standard cleanings for the ORs. So there was just a lot of things. Self-improvement is another topic that you could just become better with yourself, not only internally, but learning. I just think that the more you continue to learn, it keeps your brain active. It keeps you engaged. It keeps you excited. Doesn't stagnate you. Life seems to be full of wonder and exploration. Like, who would have ever thought that at 60 years old, well, 59, sorry, when I started, that I would start making a YouTube channel. And I hope to get better at the videos. They won't just be me sitting here. I'll actually start editing some things. Again, I probably droned on about this, but I have a probably 14, 12-year-old computer. I don't know, somewhere around there, 12-year-old, 10-year-old computer. And so it doesn't work very well. And I have a time frame that I'm working on with saving to be able to buy a brand new one. And when that happens, I can download program about editing, and I will hopefully get better. But I just think that those kind of things really keep your mind sharp. I'm trying to learn more. I've not been successful in everything that I've tried to garden. So this year there's 5 crops that I'm really focusing on, making sure that I get a harvest that's going to be good. It's going to be bountiful, I'm going to put a lot more effort than I did last year into doing it. And luckily we've been able to can enough stuff that there's some things that I can cut out this year, and there'll be more things that I really work on doing a better job at. And then canning, one of the things just off top is raising cabbage and then making sauerkraut, and also just canning some regular cabbage, because there's a couple recipes we have that just take cabbage, cooked cabbage, of course, that I would like to do. So I'm trying to learn more about how foods and exercise work together. I can tell you that no matter what a lot of the experts say, I'm probably never going to track what I eat. And, so what I ate here was this many ounces and this is how many calories it was. No. I'll either just have to work harder to get where I want, or eat less. I will learn about what foods maybe I should just fuel my body with a lot more often. I mean, I know that proteins are important, especially when you're lifting, trying to gain muscle. And I kind of gotten over not worrying about where my weight is. I know a lot of it is that I don't do enough cardio stuff. I do enough of the weight stuff. I need to do more cardio stuff, but I'm going to start actually going to a gym on a little more of a regular basis. I do most of my stuff all at home on my own, but I want to start going, because when I did get to where I wanted my weight to be a couple years ago, it's because I worked at a place that had treadmills and had a gym. And so on my breaks, I'd get there before work and do some. Everything on my breaks, I'd stay after and do some. And when I was doing that, I got down to what I would say, or I really would like my target weight to be. But I'm just not going to worry about it. As long as I'm healthy, that's the main thing I'm going to focus on there. I want to keep journaling just because I think that that's a good way to learn about myself and maybe some flaws that I have, which, trust me, I still have a lot. And like I said, I just try to gather as much information on whatever topic I get interested in, between using YouTube, social media, and search engines. And I read, I have a hard time reading, but I'm going to start trying to pick a book. And so if you know any good books, either self-improvement or being smarter with money or just being able to have more free time for yourself. Things that are kind of in that realm. So if you know any, please list in the comments because I'd like to. And I'd like to small authors who are writing stuff themselves. So that would be something too, not big time people like Tony Robbins or whatever. But again, good for him. Sorry, I don't mean to be negative about that, but I want to find people who are more like me, who are everyday Joes who haven't been millionaires for the last 15 years, 20 years, 30 years. I want to find people who are like me to learn from. And again, whenever I do these, I never take one source as that's the gospel. I always try to look at several different things, and then I just pick and choose what I think works for me. I will sometimes research to make sure what they're saying is true, because, you know, I don't always trust that stuff either, that people just don't make stuff up. So what are you trying to learn? Do you try to continue to learn and grow on a daily basis? Do you like learning new things? Or do you say, nah, I'm good. I learned all that I can. That's all I want. How has continued learning benefited you? How has it made you better? What would you suggest to people on things that to focus on, or a process on continuing your learning? And then just, general reasons why you want to learn more, how you learn, why you learn. Always remember, your smile makes me smile. Be kind, be grateful, be helpful. And until next time, have a stupendous day.